This conference will now be recorded.
They just shave him. I mean, they didn't do anything else. They just went, which is okay. I mean, he had a lot of fur.
To order, we've got 5 here, which is a quorum. And is there any change to the agenda?
Yeah, I had it, it's highlighted there, 6C, discussion on the golf course proposal.
There's one other thing. Golf course proposal and did I email you on that? So there's some, what other thing?
We're talking about rezoning. Yes. But we're gonna wait. I talked to Brian about that because we're not sure if we need to do that. We got.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're not doing that yet.
Agenda is amended.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Carries 5-0-0. Approval of the July 9th regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Carries 5-0-0. Got public hearing in 2 minutes, so we could hold off until, come back to it in a second. Nothing under number 5. Number 6A, minor subdivision request. Kurt, is that a quick one or?
I believe so.
Okay.
So if we look at
Clyde Hendricks,
Yeah.
through his attorney, has requested a minor subdivision. They have had it surveyed, and I sent you the survey, and there's a copy of it there several years ago. If I can find it, there we go. So he'd like to parcel off 4.59 acres of his current home, resulting in 2 taxes in accordance with the attached survey. The reason to approve this was brought forward by he and his attorney to promote development within the city limits of Zumbrota, resulting in more economic activity and a larger tax base. A survey of the property was provided by Mr. Heinrichs, excuse me. If approved, the Planning and Zoning Commission would hold a public hearing for October 8th, 2024 at 5:35 p.m. Can all of you see what his goal is there with?
The house right now is a part of the main lot, is
right,
the way I read it, right?
That land's I'm sorry to interrupt that. Land's periodically been listed for sale, right? You always see a sign up there.
Sale forever.
So I wonder if the plan was always to split off the building site from that land, if they ever got an offer?
you know, I spoke with Mr. Heinrichs and he's open to offers. I don't know if he got an actual offer.
Oh.
Um,
I was just saying, okay,
So
yeah.
his land, you can see right here, this large chunk of land on the west side of Zumbrota. What he wants to do is just make this area, if you're familiar with this, it's like a little farmstead there.
Yeah.
His home,
And then he'll sell this larger section for development.
That probably would have happened anyway. You know, I know for a while there was a proposal for tiny homes subdivision or some other, that would have probably have done some sort of split off of their main principal dwelling anyway, right?
this 809 is not part of the
Right.
subdivision. It's already on the survey. And just so you know, this is separate. So there'll be 2 homes, 1, 2, 3 here, and then this large. And it is interesting, I don't know many of you have been there before, you kind of go down. But it's an area that I would assume would be developed in the near future.
That would measure the setback and that rear building to the proposed boundary line.
And we measured the setback.
Confirm that it's going to be compliant with setbacks.
Oh, geez. You know what? I don't think I did. So if we look at because that's our. Damn, there it is. Yeah, I'll have to look at that, Matt. I haven't done that.
Jefferson, and is it just one
Probably
of
should
them?
know about it, right?
Is that the-
Or
Yeah, that's.
would have checked.
is that it?
I move we set the hearing as noted earlier.
Is there an exit on the south end of that?
No, there isn't. It's landlocked.
So
It's
they
what?
enter and exit from the same,
They'd have to establish an entrance point.
How would they get in off of Jefferson?
There is no entrance there. It goes through the building site. They'd have to make a new access through a road, one or either Fifth Street or Jefferson.
Oh,
What about accessory buildings?
That's what I was gonna just ask. I'm trying to count how many are there
There's
and
a
the
bunch
size
of them.
of the lot, right?
Would that be granted?
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's at least 4 with the house. So let's say 3 with the primary residence.
Yeah.
Probably, it probably would be grandfathered, what's been there forever.
But but if he's, well, if he's setting, I mean, if he's establishing what the size of the parcel is.
Right.
We just passed last time.
Yeah, you'd have to get rid of one of those
The
buildings.
quantity, I don't have them here, I didn't bring all my notes.
That'd be over an acre to have 3 buildings.
Right,
And obviously, if it's that size,
so then do they have to apply for a variance because they, I don't know.
I don't know, just because we're doing a minor subdivision, does that suddenly kick in the new ordinance on the number of accessory buildings? Or if these buildings have been there forever, just because they're splitting off the ag land from the main building site, is there still a grandfather? Are they still grandfathered in?
Is that part of the discovery for a public hearing, or
What's that?
is that part of the discovery of a public hearing, or?
I suppose we could look into it. I don't know if we'd necessarily find a definitive answer. But just because you move a boundary line now, suddenly does it change?
2 questions, setbacks would be 1, and then accessory buildings.
I'll hopefully have those answers for you at the public hearing.
what would that parcel be used for? When he sold it? Pardon?
Develop it for housing.
How would they get
Potentially,
in and out?
You'd have to establish an access.
whoever bought it would have to replat it, right, to get a road on it.
Yeah,
Either from Sixth or Fifth or
Jefferson.
Jefferson, Fifth and Jefferson. It would
Sixth
have
would-
to be replatted to
6
figure
would
out how you're
carry
gonna.
through naturally.
Because the width, I think it's about 210 square feet, we'll say. 210 feet per square.
Or Zimbrota Avenue if they sold property over there. I don't know.
Between there.
I'm sure that's why it's been difficult to sell.
I walk by there every day, and it'd be a beautiful spot for a house.
is that the county shed down to the west of that then?
States.
Or the
It's in the
state?
back.
Yeah, the state?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you had a motion, Tom.
Yes, I had made a motion, we set a public hearing as noted earlier.
I'll second it.
Discussion? So yeah, I mean, if there's a complete landlocked parcel, then usually the county or the city requires that some sort of access easement be granted, so there's still access, but, and we do have access to,
And you can't sell a landlocked parcel. I mean,
well, there's public road, Jefferson Drive, it's just a matter of complying with,
getting on there.
yeah.
Okay. Because that is just about landlocked.
It would be then if that's split.
Pardon?
It would be for sure if it's split off.
Yeah, yeah. Does he know that?
What are you talking about? Isn't it on Jefferson Drive?
Yeah, but for ownership.
If he thinks he's gonna put some houses down in there, how are they gonna get out?
Yeah.
They can't, I mean, they can't sell it then if they can't get out.
Right now, the only access is through the main building site. That's what we're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they do develop, well, I don't know who's farming it, but I'm assuming Clyde will.
Well, he's running it.
Yeah, but if they do sell it, that'd have to be part of the
Right.
development plan.
So what's your motion again?
Set a
The public hearing?
We got a motion, a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, carries. And that public hearing is for when?
October 8th, 5:35.
Okay, Gulfview.
Okay, back to 4A, public hearing on 966 Gulfview Avenue variance. Have any preliminaries, Kurt?
Well, we kind of streamlined this due to builder wanting to start to dig as soon as possibly could. This is Seth Freeze Construction that applied for this variance. And there's an encroachment into the rear yard setback for the new home build, which you can see is on this lot on Gulfview Avenue up in the Highlands. So we're looking at this one right here, this corner lot. The lot's irregularly shaped and fits all the setbacks except for the rear yard. The ordinance allows a rear yard setback of 35 feet. In the Highlands, the plans for the home call for a rear yard setback of roughly, we'll say 27 feet, 26 feet, 10 inches and 3/8 inch. The home would encroach in setback roughly 8 feet. So the reason why you can see here is this drawing of so the home is going to be angled facing east. So this is the front of the home with the driveway, and it's in your pack as well. This is considered the rear yard. The rear yard's 26. You can see here 26, 10, 3/8. As you get further away, it's fine. Front yard, side yard setbacks are fine. It's the rear yard setback of this home.
The dotted lines that curve along there, is that the right of way?
That is.
Okay.
You can see the driveway. This is the boundary of the lot, it's in blue.
How far north does it have to go before it gets into the regular? How much do we allow? Until it would be regular. There it's,
It could go
Yeah.
6 feet further north, because the side yard setback on the garage side is 6 feet.
yeah,
So it could go 4 feet further north, I'd say 4 or 6. But I don't think that'll change this distance at all.
The right of way setbacks, that would shove it back even further if you look at the front side, because of that curve of the right of way.
Looking through minutes, the planning and zoning did grant a variance to, I think it's Tina Hostetter,
Same neighborhood.
same up in the Highlands for where her house was going, the rear yard setback, this is right.
Do you have any idea, Kurt, on the north corner of the house, what the setback is there?
Right here?
on the,
The north end, yeah, up there from the back lot. From the,
there,
yeah,
how far is it from there to the lot line?
Gotta be 30 plus. Yeah, roughly.
oh, yeah.
So even that
So-
would be so easy.
So a portion of the house would be encroaching, but not the whole house.
Yeah, not the whole, I wonder how far north
That's what I was-
that goes, where it would be an encroachment.
I would guess at least half.
Probably not too much.
I would guess at least half of the house, so it would be encroaching, but then half of it wouldn't be, so. Looks like they've set it forward as much as they can, so there's, once you built a round house, I don't know how you could do any better.
Yeah, 'cause the front yard setbacks are 25 feet, so you can see
So the front is okay, it's just this
just the back.
west
That
or
corner.
south end, I
Southwest
guess, of
corner.
the house that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just looking at this
not
area.
in compliance.
Yeah, just this area right here.
Yeah.
It looks to be about 32 feet I scale it.
Okay.
That lot's very similar to the one on at 3 blocks to the west. And that builder chose to situate the house so the front yard's facing south instead of on to the west. So it's possible we could, just require them to situate the house similarly, and supposedly it would comply with all the current setbacks. But I guess this plan is to face the house east, and now we're classic corner lot dilemma, which way you're gonna face it. And then now we got a little bit of a problem with the rear yard. So,
Yeah, if they face it south, they could probably do it. It'd just be a 6-foot setback.
So
We're-
sorry, I'm the
we're-
builder.
yeah, we're just,
Yeah.
we'll, let me open the public hearing. Any other preliminaries, Kurt?
That's all I got.
Okay, go for it. Public hearing's open.
So we did draw it that way. And it's there, I don't know, it's a little tight, but the problem with drawing it that way is the slope of the lot.
Okay.
We cannot meet the requirements or needs of, or wants of the customer to have a walkout basement because of the slope of the backyard.
Yeah, that's,
Which way does it slope to the?
It slopes from the north to the south.
Okay.
massive hill right there, the beginning of a big hill.
Oh, yeah, okay, I know what it is.
And the way it sits on the lot, it wouldn't be, it looks like the south end of the house wouldn't so much interfere with is it the Taylors that live next door, I think their name is, or Adams, what is it? Taylor Adams, that lives next door? It's gonna be far enough away from the corner of their house.
Where it's encroaching to be next to their garage, so that's not
Yeah.
like it's on their back deck or something.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to is, maybe this could fit, does it ruin some green space? Why do we have a policy of a 35-foot rear yard setback to allow for a more open area to do things? And does it ruin the neighbor's possible use of their rear yard? Because you have this house that's 10 feet closer than it should be.
Right. Doesn't seem to be the case here.
So have the neighbors been notified about this, or how do
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody you see there got.
they got a letter?
Any
Or-
feedback
okay.
coming from that?
I got one call today, a citizen was,
Mhm.
I guess it, what's tough when you send a letter about setbacks, because before this job, I didn't know what setback meant. A lot of people think that you're going to take some of their yard away.
Oh,
So,
Like an they think it's an easement.
yeah, like, what's that gonna do to my yard? I said, well, nothing's gonna be done to your yard at all, it's just you get a neighbor. And I remember when we did the golf course, setbacks for the golf course, 30, 35 feet, people thought the golf course was a lot of people because they just didn't understand the wording of the letter.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was today.
Do you think they had a chance to see that sketch?
I emailed it.
Okay. No objections there?
I'm not in here after I emailed it.
yeah, my concern was if the house next door would be um, not happy with that new house coming in there, so close.
Yeah, that one
But-
or the people to the north, but
Well,
I mean, they're-
but there's more room there.
And this way, this will give them a little room between the two
right?
compared to.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I said that to the citizen on the phone.
Back setback and side setback. Well, considering the lay of the land here, the way the lot lies, and the efforts that were made to try and squeeze the house in, I think we should recommend approval. I'll make that as a motion.
Mhm.
Just saying, was there anybody else here that wanted to?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep, I'll close the public hearing.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
Okay, that's a recommendation of council to approve the variance. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstain? Kim, did you say?
Yeah, aye.
Okay, 500. Thank you.
Been 2 months since the last meeting, I forgot the protocol.
That's okay. I much rather streamline things. So council meets when?
Next Thursday.
Okay, so they'll consider it and,
So I'll let you know.
Appreciate it.
Friday. So, next.
Okay.
all right. Then 6B Berg Homestead. Set up a little hearing.
All right, so I'm Scott Hunnicky with WHKS, acting as the developer's engineer, and I have John Champa here with me tonight, acting as the developer. What we're here to present tonight is the Berg Homestead First Edition, which has 7 lots approximately, and just over 1/4 acre, that are going to be up on East 9th Street, which is associated with the current construction project that the city's doing, where they're extending Jefferson Drive to 460th Street. These lots.
Would you go up there and show us?
Yes, yep.
Should be right.
I'll leave the map up here for a second and then we'll switch over to the plat. So these lots, currently the city's constructing the road where Jefferson Drive is getting constructed into 460th Street. So this road's gonna be coming through here. And our development is 7 lots immediately on the southwest side of 9th Street right here. So it'll be right here, just on the south side of where the new road is constructed.
That building site, is that active or is that an abandoned building site?
I believe that is getting cleared away. That's,
Yeah, that was a trailer that was in there.
Okay.
And that's been removed.
Okay, so there's no building site there?
There's no.
No active building site, okay.
so here's a view of the preliminary plat. You can see that it's split into 7 lots up there. One thing I will point out here is that the lot setbacks on the front side are set to 20 feet right now. Looking at buildings in the area, those setbacks are typically between 20 and 30 feet. Due to the nature of the land and the hillside that falls off, we're pushing this 20 feet just to be able to get the houses in there. So I just want to point that out. Other
You
than
say that would be a 20-foot setback?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And with the sidewalk being on the other side, there's going to be no sidewalk there. So the driveways there are going to be 35 feet or so from the roadway up to the garage. And that's where we've got the setbacks. Obviously, whatever houses get put there, they could set back further than that, but that's what we have in the preliminary plat. I also have a grading plan that I think is in front of you, that's just kind of showing some contours and how the drainage is all gonna work. So the drainage on the front side of the houses are gonna drain to 9th Street. We've got some intakes on the far west side, and then that water is gonna get pushed down from a drainage swale and then flow back down to the south. So really kind of wanted to get this in front of you and like to have a public hearing set for further discussion.
What kind of houses will they be?
Oh, walkouts.
So they're all gonna be walkouts,
Single family?
single family.
Single family. Okay.
There's just a lot of hill there.
Probably need to incorporate a PUD then for that reduced front yard setback, right, Kurt? And, you know,
So the setback right now is 20 feet.
Correct. Yeah.
And how big are those lots again? How big are they?
85 foot wide by 140 feet, so that's 0.27 acres.
I haven't got my calculator, but how big is that then? A point what?
0.27.
And you said that the setback is established at that primarily because of the existing grade?
Correct. Yep, primarily from the existing grade, and then looking at the future planning, the intent would be that if we can scroll back over. So the GIS map, the aerial image. In the future, potentially that this would all have houses coming up on 9th Street, and then that would have the same consideration where you've got that large grade that's fallen off that you'd kind of need to push those houses closer to the road for it to be feasible.
Would that leave a pretty short driveway, and would people have trouble with that, or?
So with the 20-foot setback, there's still 12 foot to the actual curb and gutter. So the driveway there, minimum is gonna be 32 feet. Which if you look around town, it's not abnormally short by any means.
So they'd be backing out on that busy road. Is that what's gonna happen?
So they'd be back out onto 9th Street, but
Right.
the traffic on 9th Street, you got to consider that Jefferson Drive is going to be connected up to 460th here. Depending on how the traffic gets through, 9th Street currently gets a lot of traffic from residents up here that are trying to get out of town.
I live on 9th Street and it's very busy and fast. And you get out here and they don't care about the speed limit at all. But how dangerous is that gonna be if those people have to?
Well, I think one thing to consider is the nature of the roadway there. Right now, it's a gravel road with, trees on one side and, you're almost up town, so you're kind of getting out of there. Once you get houses up there with driveways and it's more residential.
You mean it'll be more wide open so they can have a better visual? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm saying the roadway here, once you get houses and everything in there and it's more residential, it's gonna feel like a normal residential street, not like a country road where you can throw.
Because I mean, it's a racetrack by there now. It's terrible. They've got the speed limit signs up, but they come in at 50 mile an hour and out 50 mile an hour. It's awful.
One question, Scott, the rest of that parcel, is there thoughts about how that would be developed someday? I guess I was just saying, if you build the houses there, is that going to screw up basically the rest of the parcel for development, or are you taking that into account?
So we've taken that into account and kind of preliminary layout would be houses coming off 9th Street, but then in the future, you bring up a road that probably ties into Dubuque and you wrap it around, and then it's either going to be contained in this parcel or potentially would expand into the next parcel. But
Okay.
the future thought is, you'd extend a road in Dubuque, get in here and then catch people on both sides.
I'm thinking of the drainage too, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you building the houses?
Yeah, I'm the landowner.
Is there a style? Do they pick their own style or do you, what kind of style house is going to
It'll
be?
be single family and we'll have a covenant as far as size and requiring two stall garages and certain square footage. We haven't heard of that yet.
It's not going to be apartments or townhouses then? Okay.
No condos, no townhome, no duplexes, a single family houses, 7 single family houses.
What did you say about the duplex? No duplex? Yes, okay. Okay.
Need a motion to set a public hearing?
I make a motion we set the public hearing for when? October 8th, is it?
October 8th at 5:40.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, abstained, carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
6C, golf course proposal.
Yeah, Matt, you know about this as well. Kevin Kish stopped by and spoken to you. All right, so the golf course, I'll take it up here. The golf course has an interesting situation out here. Okay. So this area where we just spoke about, Golf View apartment or homes, if you notice, see this little chunk of land? This is owned by the golf course. And it's separate from the border of the golf course. So what Kevin Kish, and I believe the golf course is proposing, is offering to sell, like, for example, house 919 here.
The chunk, yeah.
A majority of these homes have stuff they built stuff into this yard already,
Or at least they're mowing it.
or they're mowing it. And offering to sell this chunk of land, so like 919 would own, so like their boundary would go all the way to the border of the golf course itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Some would be like this land, obviously would be smaller than, say, this chunk of land up here, but I guess my question is, and Matt probably knows this, how would you do this? Would they just offer it to the people? I mean,
So somebody did and somebody didn't want to do it.
Right, because there's gonna be people who don't wanna buy it. And so this border is not going to be uniform, it's going to be, I
Yeah.
wanna say, chunky in certain spots.
And I don't know if, sorry to step on you there, but I don't like up where your pointer is, like the bigger stretch. I don't know if they were going to be offering that entire area or just the extra 20 feet or so that the neighbor's been mowing. I don't know. I don't know that.
I think Ken was just asking if we could do it.
Yeah, so initial thought, a piece of cake, you get a surveyor out there that just surveys a rectangular piece by 20-foot strip, that they've been using. Golf course deeds it because these are just outlots, so they just deed that portion of the outlot to the neighbor, piece of cake. But what I told Kevin is, if you look at our ordinance, it's never as easy as it might seem. There's, first of all, the main golf course and outlots, I think, are platted as part of Highlands First. If the adjoining lot that's owned by the homeowner is also in Highlands First, then you could do a merger or a combination of the two parcels. And you'd maybe have lot 1, block 1, Highlands First, and that part of outlot A described as, the easterly 20 feet or whatever. They could all be combined into one tax parcel. Not as great as replatting, but it could be done. But if some of these other lots are in a different subdivision, Highlands Fourth, now you can't combine them unless you replat. So what we did with Kevin a few years ago, when he bought that little strip from the golf course, we did this with Jimmy Lohman too. We did a deed restriction instead of require a replat. We just had a deed restriction where the two lots are tied together, and you record something with the county recorder. So now, from now on, both those parcels have to be mortgaged together and sold together, always tied together, and that's one way around it. Again, not as neat and pretty as a complete new replat, but it's one way to do it. The other issue is if we said, no, we want you all to replat, which means, come up with a new Highlands subdivision or a replat that combines the existing dwelling lot with the 20-foot strip, and it's all one new lot. Well, it's a little bit more expensive, more time consuming, but the big problem I've run into is when you're dealing with non-local mortgage companies, they turn it into a flipping nightmare. And it takes 6 to 9 months, and they want new title insurance policies and amendments to mortgages, and you're dealing with somebody out in New York or whatever. It's just horrible. So not that that's our problem, but I've just countered that as a problem. But then the third thing is our ordinance says you can only do so many minor subdivisions within 2 or 5 years. Yeah. So this could be, 10 or I don't know how many people are interested in doing this, but we'd be in complete violation of that unless we do a replat. So the question is, in order to simplify things and not require a replat, is there any reason that we could grant a variance to allow the golf course to do this and violate that prohibition on a bunch of minor subdivisions?
Why do they want to get rid of this?
It might be a moneymaker thing.
I think so, that's what I'm thinking.
My first thought is just tell the neighbor to move their stuff.
Yeah.
And keep
Right.
it. Right, like the park, exactly.
And is it all being mowed by the residents along there, pretty much? Is it being taken care of?
Sure looks like it there.
Yeah.
I see trees have been planted.
I don't know why Bigelow proposed initially to create those outlots, maybe just a buffer between that and the actual golf course itself. So
Or maybe you could sell
guys
it-
like me aren't hooking my drive right into their yards.
Or you could sell the lots cheaper by not having them quite so big.
Oh, that could be too, yep.
Or it would have cost them a lot more to buy, when they were platting out the lots, when they went to sell them, it would cost more to
Right.
buy all the way to the strip, yeah. So now we're just considering if we would think that would be a good idea, if we,
Yeah, I think it's just for discussion, are we, if we're amenable to this idea, do we want to make it difficult or easy, require a replat or try to work around the quirks of the zoning ordinance?
The concept is the golf course doesn't see a present or future use for those parcels. I don't see why we should stand in their way if they want to try and do it. If we can do it that.
And the easiest way would be the variance, is that?
what would you think their use would be of the,
I don't know, I'm just saying, I would, if they're thinking they can't make use of that now or in the future, why would we stand in their way of doing it? I guess that's, if we can help it,
right,
help them.
Do we care about the lack of uniformity, like Kurt was saying, different jogs looking chunky, probably doesn't matter that much.
so right now, the golf court's paying taxes on that parcel. How does that go with the golf course?
I wonder if Bigelow's LLC still owns those outlots. Or did they turn those over to the golf course? That's an interesting question. Does the golf course, who owns it?
What does it say?
Zobroda Golf Course.
Deed acres, the Highlands.
Sure, they get out of paying the taxes and then they don't have to take care of it.
So Bigelow must have turned over those outlots to the golf club, because I thought Zobroda Golf Course Properties LLC owned it. What is that, outlot A? What does it say there at the bottom there, Kurt? Keep going down.
Where's the parcel number?
Outlot F, yeah. Very
This
bottom.
says parcel number ending in 710.
So that's outlot F, so let's see who owns the tax information for like a house here. Yeah, I thought they would.
Well, that's the flat, right, that you're looking at right
Yeah,
there?
that's
Click
Michael.
on property tax,
That's
are you
the
on
owner.
property tax owner now? Third one down.
Oh, it says right. Michael Henke.
Oh, at the top. Okay, so go back to the other one.
Okay, there we go.
Bowling tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then tax or plat.
Well,
Yeah, now do
Zimbrota
property
Golf
owner
Club.
history.
Zimbrota Golf Club on the top, it says.
Yeah, go two more down on the left there, property owner history. It should say Golf Course Properties LLC. Yeah, in
and Bigelow.
2013, they turned that over to the golf club, it looks like. Huh, okay. I wonder if they turned over all those outlots to the golf course. They probably did. I can't imagine Bigelow wanted responsibility to
Of course not.
mow it. Yeah.
Right. I think the concept is a good one. There's a lot of details to be worked out, but we can't settle those
Yeah,
tonight.
Well, are we even, I guess I just thought we could kick it around and see how hardcore we want to be on, or how much we want to be flexible with allowing a variance to accommodate without getting ourselves into too much trouble.
Matt, how would you, with the variance, so let's say there's a house that wants to buy that back lot, is the variance then? Rather than everybody?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. I think I told Kevin it'd be best to find out who all is on board
Yeah.
and do it all at once. And then grant the variance one time on the lack of, or on exceeding the minor subdivision requirements. The 2 out of every 5 years, whatever it is, 2 in every 5, and then also approve the deed restrictions with lots that aren't in the same subdivision. But I guess I wanted to know a little bit from the commission if they wanted to not be flexible and require a replat. That'd be the best, that'd be the prettiest. That'd be
I
what?
think would be the better way to go, but.
Yeah.
To your point, it makes it a mess.
You're gonna have to
There's
find out how many
18
people
property,
want to do
there's
that.
18 property owners that order that.
And if
those
one in
two
the middle
outlots.
wants to do it, then
Is it just on that side, Kurt? I thought there were maybe
Along
others
to the
on.
north side too, is there?
it looks like it's up there.
Nothing like,
Nothing on the east side there?
there's a little bit there, I don't know.
No, there's no outlets over there, are
I
there?
didn't see any, I didn't see any. That's the one I thought.
Okay.
Even on, we get down here.
Yeah, along, I think that's an outlot. Let's see where that pond is along number 9.
Oh, down here.
No,
Wait, oh, I'm sorry, right there.
yeah, that's one. Is that maybe part of the deal probably, or?
That's all hooked into that one that says 60, isn't it? That one. That's all one piece.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be the same as over here, like, easily off of that too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So these guys get that whole chunk of land there. A lot of them
I don't know that that's that way anyway.
So a replat would be best,
Well,
easiest.
You look at the way they've landscaped there, you look at that, yeah, they don't even know it.
right, from a future forward looking thing, right?
Should I say to Kevin that you need to figure out who wants to buy?
Maybe that would be a good start.
Yeah.
But then if they, I don't know how they'd cost share it, but, getting Dave Ramp to go out and survey little 20-foot strips is one thing, but to come up with a complete new replat, or you could do separate replats on each lot. It'd be replat number 1, replat number 2. And it would just incorporate the original lot where the house is, plus the extra 20 feet, all in one new lot called replat.
Yeah.
Lot number 1 replat. But that might, like Kim's saying, that might look better long-term. It's just, if you're dealing with a Wells Fargo or a US bank, have fun. But again, some cities would say, not my problem, right?
On them to figure out how to do it. I mean, if we can facilitate it, yeah, but they gotta figure it out.
It just means Kevin's gonna come back and talk to me.
Well, I think the first thing is gotta figure out who wants to do it. 'Cause I was in a position like this one time and some neighbors wanted it and some didn't, and
Yeah, and is it just 20 feet off the back of their
Some of 'em
property,
it's-
right? 'Cause like
some of 'em
those,
it's more than 20.
It's way more.
Yeah.
So then is it replatting the golf course? Or, I don't know. Yeah, like right there, those corner pieces are.
If they don't all agree, how would they do it?
Yeah.
If all the property owners don't agree that they all want to buy this little,
Each lot would get their own little strip that is interested, and you have a goofy looking outlot.
quite.
So possibly amenable to being flexible, but we want more concrete interest or details on who's involved and what the possible sizes are, or is that what we're thinking?
yeah, I think we should table this at least till the next meeting, till we find out more about it.
Well, there's no action on it.
It's just a discussion.
Oh, all right. Well, then we're okay. Then there's just discussion.
What direction we want to give Kevin and the golf course, though? Just
Well, are we
Come back.
trying to figure out how many people are interested in owning more of that? Yeah, I guess.
And how are we
go back
gonna
to
find
Kevin
that
on
out? How?
That's not us, that's them.
Yeah. They'll come back and tell us,
I hope so.
Right, if he
Know what
came
we
back.
want. Do we need to know that first before we decide on a
for sure.
path?
So we would be the ones dictating then back to the golf course? They all have to replat, or we're gonna do a variance?
What do I say to, if Kevin comes in and says, well, how many do you need to say yes? Do I say like half, at least half the people need to say?
But to say yes to what? To do a variance?
Everybody that's on board myself.
To do, yeah.
So we can do it all at one meeting. We don't want to do it piecemeal, do we?
Because the people down on this end, if they're gonna buy, that won't cost them much, but you get up here in this curve.
Yeah.
If they're gonna have to.
Just in the curve, how do you run those lines through?
Yeah. Well.
I want it, no, I want it.
I think it's let a sleeping dog lie.
Well,
It's
yeah, I
gonna
mean,
be
to your
full.
question, why are they, or whoever asked it?
Has he been
Why,
approached? Is that
if it is a
what's
revenue
happened?
generation.
Probably,
Yeah, Doug Borshas was down here, I think it's in this house.
And approached asking?
Yeah, he was asking them.
I think
He was one of the guys I can remember that came
all the
in.
neighbors knew where their pins were. I think they did, and they just decided to exceed the boundary line.
oh, sure.
But I think it might be a revenue raising reason and for the golf course and, what else was I gonna say? Shoot. Golf course was concerned about property owners acquiring, adverse possession,
Oh, yeah.
15 years hostile use. Suddenly they can get a court order saying they own it anyway. Well,
Because they occupied.
right. But what I told Kevin is consent always blows that argument out of the water. So if you want to protect yourself, send a letter to all these people
Right.
saying, we understand that you've been using our land for the last 10 years and you've been mowing it and doing whatever. It's okay. Just be advised that we're letting you do this and just know that you're not going to ever acquire title to this through adverse possession because we're giving our consent. Send that protective letter out, keep a
Yeah.
copy, and now you're fine. But I think maybe it's a money thing.
They could raise revenue by selling off pieces.
And get out of paying the taxes.
Yeah, I doubt if
It's not a whole lot, but.
I can't,
Not developed, I mean, it's not developed land, I can't imagine.
yeah, it can't be much, no.
You can probably get more by putting it in the proper, in
Right.
the housing than.
If you combine the parcels, all of a sudden it would be all at the higher rate, so.
Okay.
Okay, we discussed it.
You got something to give to him, Kurt? Or not?
Yeah, if he comes in,
Okay,
talk to him,
okay.
try my best. But I think what I'll see is, we need to know how many people are interested in, before anything can be done.
And how, are they looking at just a little strip along their rear yard or the whole outlot, which gets quite wide? Okay,
I'll pull it up and talk to him.
okay. Anything else then? Okay, meeting adjourned, thank you.